Good morning, everybody. I would like to welcome you to part two of Wonderopolis, a wonderground of resources for educators. I am really excited and happy to see all of you that are able to log in this morning. I want this session to be something that's going to motivate you and be a source of positivity and calmness amongst the chaos that we are all experiencing right now. So definitely feel free to use this as a resource. The advantage of using this, and you'll see once we get the presentation going, of using this resource is that we can use it with our participants, but since some of them may be sheltering in place right now, they can also turn around and use it with their families, especially if they're conducting home learning sessions with their own children at home. So this is a win-win resource that we can use not only as instructors, but also for the families that we're working with. So if you give me 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and get started with a PowerPoint presentation. So this is our agenda. We're going to be reviewing the Wonderground section of the website. It has educator blogs, lesson plans, resources, and correlations to the standards. The objectives are to be able to educate the resource website, Wonderopolis, and specifically Wonderground, which holds all of the resources for educators. We're also going to preview a sample Texas AEL standards-based lessons and make some connections to the employability skills framework as well, and also take a live tour of the website. So before we get started, I would like to know who is here. Are you an instructor? Are you an administrator? Who is in our audience? So if you can take a second to do that, and also let me know who attended part one so we can canvass the audience and figure out if we need to do just who would benefit from a quick review of part one. So if you can take some time to add that into the chat box, that would be great. Don't be sorry about missing part one. If we need to, I'll do a quick review. No worries.
See, a lot of did not attend part one. So I think, let's see here, I missed part one. Okay, so I think it would be good to just review like you planned, Catalina.
Okay.
Everybody, you may hear my pop-up voice every once in a while, so okay, Kat, there you go.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Anne-Marie. We discussed earlier that throughout the presentation that she will be coming in and out to assist with some technical things, and of course, to help me with the chat box. I do not have mine open. It's minimized at the bottom, so if you do reply, then she will be translating what you're posting on the chat box as well. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I am going to do a quick review, but not that quick because this resource is rich with things that you can use for your participants. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and giving you an overview of what it is. So a little background about Wonderopolis and information about it. So basically, this is a nationally acclaimed website, Wonderopolis, and it was created by the National Center for Families and Learning in 2010. It quickly has become one of the most popular education sites, and some of the highlights of the platform include that it has well over 2,000 wonders of the day and counting, and I'll review what those are in just a second. It covers a vast array of topics, and you are definitely sure to find something that's going to interest you and your participants. There's about 45 million visitors, and this was as of part one, but considering the situation we're in, I'm sure that that has drastically increased. So what happens is that all of the new wonders of the day come from questions from the users, and the platform extensions also include a Camp Wonderopolis that we'll review and a campground for the Educator Network. This is such an exciting website because it has the excitement of learning that comes from curiosity and the wonder that is undeniable and helps to create those learning moments in everyday life. So just a little bit more about this website. is teachers can use the Wonder of the Day to jumpstart their students' critical thinking to dip into our ever-growing collection of content that relates to specific themes and students' interests. So the possibilities for using Wonderopolis in our virtual classrooms are endless, and we invite you to find those classroom resources, lesson plans, and correlations to the educational standards and real-world applications that can be found in Wonderground, and I'll go over that in a little bit. It's really creating a network to support educators, and we'll be exploring that a little further. So that's just a little background about Wonderopolis. And so I'm going to now dive into the actual review from part 1. So the Wonderopolis homepage is internet-based, it's web-based, and this is what it looks like. And at the top of the screen, you can see the actual web address. And if possible, Miss Anne-Marie, can you post that on the chat box? And so we'll go ahead and post that on there. And once you open the web page and the home page, you'll be able to see a banner across the top. And that banner is what leads you to the different sections of the Wonderopolis page. The website address, okay, there we go. It's posted in the chat box. So it's a free and open website. You do not need to register to access the website. However, if you want to receive the daily Wonder of the Day, the subscription is very quick and easy. Once you do it, you will get a daily lesson plan sent directly to your inbox. And we will visit the subscription window in just a few minutes. So the first tab is labeled Home, and this is where you automatically see the Wonder of the Day, and you see that every day. You might be wondering, what is the Wonder of the Day? So it's a question that is posed daily and answered in a very interactive and engaging manner using vocabulary, videos, lesson plans, and other resources. So on the screen, you can toggle from left to right to see the most current wonders. And I'll show you how to do that once we get into the live tour. We will have an opportunity in just a second to do that. What I have also done is I've color coordinated the arrows to the tabs as a visual organization tool to guide you through the website, and I hope you find that helpful. Now, this is where you can sign up for the free Wonder of the Day email that I just talked about. This can be found at the bottom of the home page, and it's very easy to sign up. If you go to this section, all you do is enter your email address, click subscribe, and you can quickly get access to it. The subscription is quick, easy, and free. And once you do it, you're going to get a daily lesson plan straight to your inbox. As something that you want to do today, or as you're planning for your lessons, is try to do this as soon as possible, because that, if you're in your email, that comes to your email directly, and you don't have to go back into the website to look at the daily lesson that is being used. So this is a great way to have this as a quick access in your inbox on a daily. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so once you do that, once you subscribe, you're going to get a Wonder of the Day to your inbox, and this is what it's going to look like. Now, this is not the one for today. Every day it's going to look different. And if you can see here, it has the Wonder of the Day, and it poses that daily interactive question. So in this case, it's called, what are the prisms? Included with this, you're going to have the actual lesson plan written out in your inbox. So you'll see the question and then subsequent questions. Have you ever wondered, what are prisms? What are the colors of the light? What is dispersion? And then it gives you the text that answers those questions. Now, if you can see the daily question that is emailed to you, there's several purposes. It can be used as a lesson hook. It can be a springboard to start your lesson. And what's really great is that there's a walkthrough of how to explicitly go through the lesson and present it to your students. It can also be used as an extension of what you already did, or as an enrichment. It can also support content topic areas that might be challenging or more difficult to navigate through. In this example of what is a prism, it begins with the additional connecting questions to explore the topic of prisms, such as what are the colors of the light and dispersions. This is found under the heading, Have You Ever Wondered? And so it gives you those additional questions. But then it dives deeper into further exploration of the topic by asking, did you know? And this section begins to explain the questions posed. Since it's in your inbox, there are certain highlighted words that you can see on the screen that are highlighted in red. And if you click on these red highlighted words while you're still in your inbox lesson, it will direct you to that specific Wonder of the Day on the live website. So that's a really cool feature because it highlights those words that they've already created lessons for, and they're already loaded into the website. So you can see the expanded look and what the various links look like for this specific topic. In this case, if you were to click on rainbows, it would take you to the Wonder of the Day that's linked to that specific topic. Now, included in the daily lesson plans are vocabulary words that are specifically related to the content that is being focused on in that lesson. So in this case, some words that are selected are angles, theory, distorted, triangular, and there's an endless possibilities in how you can choose to teach these and incorporate these related vocabulary words now in your lesson. Now, the Try It Out section of the lesson plan that you will see in your inbox, you will find it at closer to the bottom of the page. And so I find this really useful because our participants may be parents or grandparents, and we can use this section to give them ideas on how to take this knowledge back to their families, especially now, like I mentioned before, if they're doing home learning or homeschooling. This is especially helpful for programs that have family literacy academies and thinking about how we're going to continue services with those academies. This is a great way to do that. One activity that is listed here is how to make your own prism. And so this is a great way to get everybody at home involved with our participants. And as instructors, you can even try some of these during your virtual classes if you're able to. Maybe not right now, but maybe further on once we all get the hang of the changes that we're going through. This can also be used for our HSC and GED classes. What a better way to practice some of the language that is included in some of these lessons. And we always know that all our brains learn better by doing and seeing and interacting with the content. So this is just a great way to do that. There's also a section where if this sparks some curiosity in your students, they can continue to explore the topic that is being highlighted in the Wonder of the Day. So this includes what's called Wonder, What's Next, and it has a link for the next day's Wonder of the Day. And finally, there's related Wonder tags. So if you click on the Wonder tags, it takes you again to that page of exploration where there's more. So the next tab is called Explore Wonders, and this tab is color-coded in orange, and this is where you can actually explore the world of wonders. So if there's a specific topic that you feel you need a bit more information, you want it to be more interactive, you want to introduce related vocabulary, then this is a place where you would go to do that. And you would click on that tab, and it would take you into an area where you can explore those wonders. And here, the great thing about that is that you can explore wonders by content area. So your GED teachers, you can do that via searches for science, for math, social studies, language art, technology, arts, and culture. And this is great for cross-generational teaching, considering the different ages, the different levels that we have in our participants, and also considering the virtual learning platforms. So if you really want to do a content area search, you would do it in this, and you can see how it's organized. So it has a topic area, and then it has little descriptions of videos that are there, as well as the wonders. So this is a great way, I think, to narrow the search, especially if you're looking for something that is more specific to what you're doing. And especially now, because we're doing virtual learning, we want to make sure that we follow that criteria of every time that your students log in with you, they get to see something new, do something new, and interact with the content and with each other. So this is a great way to get all of those factors.
Catalina, I'm trying to figure out when to jump in. We're going to look at this, right? We're going to look at this because I know you're explaining, but then we're going to, because I know that's going through everybody's mind. So hold on, everybody. We're going to go out.
We are going to do a virtual tour. I just want to, I'll move a little more quickly through the tabs if that's needed. Would that be helpful?
Maybe a little bit, and then we can always go back because we're at 11:53, so I think that would be good. But I know everybody wants to see it. Okay.
Not a problem. We're going to fast forward through these. So here we have another tab of what are you wondering? This is to join the Wonder Creation. If you have specific questions that you've developed, you can submit them here. We also have the Camp Wonderopolis, and this is a place where they've developed specific content area camps, and it looks a little more geared towards a K-12 community. However, what I really like about it is that there are these sections. And in these sections, you have, of course, Wonderground for teachers, visit the website, and visit NCFL. But within this page, they have articles that are categorized by grade levels and by ages. And so I took a snippet of the one that would be more applicable to the not the age or grade, but the content level that we access for our adult learners. And so here you can see that you can click on the ages 18 and up, and it gives you a lot of articles that are related to each other in the Camp Wonderopolis. So let's say you want to do a mentor text, or you want to do a side-by-side text, or you want to have text that is related within the same content area, then this is where you would find that information. So just make sure that you click on the age level 9 or the grade level that you want to look for. So this was one of the places where we were going to build in some questions. Are there any questions, Ms. Anne-Marie, that we can take at this time?
You know what? We had one. Perfect timing. You must have heard me. This is an excellent question from Mike Sines from El Paso.
Hi, Mike.
He says, what is the grade level? What is the grade level, or is it range, reading grade level?
Oh, okay. So the grade levels are categorized anywhere from early childhood and pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And so that's what I was saying, that if you have a range or you've grouped your participants by reading levels, instructional levels, and you can definitely tailor your instruction by doing the searches within the grade levels that you're specifically instructing at that time. I hope that helps, Mike.
Yep. And right now, just a lot of comments about how they think that what you just shared with the different lessons would be wonderful as a warm-up activity. So I think we can keep going.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. So cool. Yes, this is one I briefly glanced at the chat and I saw so cool. So yes, I'm really excited about this one because it helps our participants and their families, and it helps us as well. So I'm going to move on. For the next tab is a Wonders with Charlie, and this is really great because in this section, it's done by Charles Engelman. He's a writer, producer, and director for 2 National Geographic TV shows, and he produces and hosts a lot of the videos that are in this section, Wonders with Charlie. What this is once you click on that tab, it takes you directly to interactive videos that are loaded that are directly related to the content of Wonder of the Day. So if you have participants that would benefit from interacting with live video, you can definitely use this to explain or to break down a concept or a theme a little bit in a different format, in a different modality for those participants that need that. And so now we're going to go into Wonderopolis and if you were to go back to Wonderopolis Home, you would see this part. It's called the Wonder Ground for Educators, and it has several different parts. And so this part is what it is the pool of resources for educators. So this wouldn't necessarily be somewhere where our students could draw some of those examples or some of that interactive content. This is more for us as instructors. And so once you log in, you'll see these 4 areas. It has educator blogs, lesson plans, education standards, and educator resources. And again, across the top, once you get into Wonderground, you'll see the different tabs. So there's an Explore, a lesson plan, the resources, blogs, and Wonder of the Day. So on the lesson plan tab, I did a screenshot of what one would look like. And if you look towards the bottom there, you can see the actual lesson plan, We Shall Overcome. Towards the right over here, there will be a link to a video, an explanation of what is a civil right, and then it has the resources. So if you click on that tab, then you'll see the Ready to Learn kit. Here is an example from the Cleveland Public Library. And if you look at this other blue arrow, you see an article. And in this case, the article is Do We Ever Stop Learning? And the reason why I selected this one is because it goes hand in hand with our adult learners. So in this case, if you look at it, it gives you the subject content area at the top, which is social studies linked to careers. And this is what the Wonder of the Day looks like if you were to go live. And we'll do it in a minute, but I really wanted to highlight this one as a screenshot because it may not be the one that's posted today. But I like this one because it's linked to our adult learners. So the question is, do we ever stop learning? Can you really learn something new every day? And what is lifelong learning? But what's great about it is that if you look here in the middle of the web page, there is a link for a video. There's picture support. Towards the right-hand side, there's a little outline of additional information. Here you can see it's celebrating American History Month. And hold on just a second. I'm going to mute because I need to cough.
And Catalina, when we come back, I wanted to ask you a question that I think would help everybody too when you come back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. So I see up there in the corner that you can print that, but it also allows you to send it electronically to students or upload it into Schoology or something like that, right?
Yes, it's very user-friendly for instructors, especially if you're doing it via a remote learning, a virtual learning platform. It's very easy to print, to download, to save, to share. And it just works with the direction that we're taking at this time. So it's a great resource. What I also want, and thank you for pointing that out, Ms. Anne-Marie. The other thing I wanted to point out is if you look at the bottom part here towards the left-hand side, that's the actual text that comes in connected with a lesson. And what I really love about it, especially being all of us being reading and vocabulary instructors, is that there are certain words that are highlighted in yellow. And once we do the live tour here in a minute, I'll show you that when you hover over those words, it gives you an instant definition in user-friendly, student-friendly terms of what that word means. And so it's great for ESL learners, even GED learners that are still trying to build that pool of academic language where they can very quickly access the language and the definition of those new words that they're learning. So this part, I really love this part, especially because it connects the video, the anchor question, and of course, the vocabulary. There's also educator blogs, and there are a lot of them in there, but there's one specifically that I wanted to highlight, and that's why you have a screenshot of this one. It's Sparking Wonder in Adulthood. And so this is a great blog, and it has some other ideas of how to engage our adult learners, especially now where not only do they have to do home learning for their own children, but they also want to continue in the goals that they have, learning goals they have set for themselves. Then we have the Wonder of the Day. This tab just takes you straight back to the home page for more wonders. So do we have any questions at this point?
I don't see any. Everybody go ahead and put your questions in the chat pod and we'll keep moving and then we'll wrap around later. Yep.
Okay, so we're going to keep moving through. Finally, we have the connection to the educator standards. So we've reviewed the educator blogs, the resources, and now we're going to go to the standards. Once you go onto the live page, you can see where there's a section to connect to the AL standards. And if you can see my mouse, there's a drop-down menu here where it lets you drop down into the College and Career Readiness Anchor Standards, and it has all of the anchors. You can choose the one that you want. In this case, I chose the ELA Literacy Standard number 1, but it also lets you select a grade. And this also goes back to the question that Mike asked, because you can select the grade of the instructional level that you have your different teaching groups in. So in this case, I chose 11th and 12th, and you can see at the bottom of that, it gives you the correlation to the wonder of the day as far as the College and Career Readiness Standards to the anchor and then to the wonder of the day. And so what I did is I went through and I selected several different ones. This is Anchor 4 for 11th and 12th grade, determine the meaning of words and phrases. And again, you can see how easily that's connected to the live version because they can hover over those words like I showed you a little while ago. Then I selected Anchor number 9, and this one has to do with analyzing 19th century foundation for U.S. documents. So there's different ways where you can, if you need to make those connections to standards, where you can go in and actually looking at that.
Kat, I'm going to jump in here for a minute. Everybody, what you're seeing on the screen right now is just the PowerPoint inside WebEx. She will, Catalina will be going live and sharing her desktop in a minute and seeing the PowerPoint. Seeing the actual website. I hope that helps everybody.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes. I'm going to do that in just a second.
Okay.
So right now, thank you, Ms. Anne Marie, and thank you for the questions. So what I'm going to share with you right now is a sample lesson plan, and Ms. Anne Marie, let me know if this pulls up.
And I'm going to go ahead and while you're pulling that up, I see the lesson plan form. Share your screen. Go down to the button to share content on your screen. Go down to the floating dashboard at the bottom.
At the bottom. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Not yet. Is everybody? Here it comes. There's a little bit of a delay. All right, so I'm going to address Jennifer's question right now. Jennifer, your question was, how do I share this with my students? All right, there's going to be a training on WebEx this afternoon and on Monday, but regardless of whether you're in WebEx or Zoom, there's going to be an option for you to share content from your desktop, and that's how you would do it, okay? All right. Go ahead.
Ms. Anne Marie, just what are you seeing? What is being shared right now? Can you see the live page? Because that's the one that I want to get into.
Yes, we see
okay.
You're welcome, Jennifer. Yep, we see your live, the main page of Wonderopolis.
Okay, good. Thank you. So this is what the actual live page looks like. And so I had taken screenshots, but I'm going to do a tour of the live page. And so for today's Wonder of the Day, you can see it. It says, can neurotechnology connect our brains? Okay, and so across the top, you can see the actual, hold on, I had to close a window here. Okay, so you can see the banner that I was talking about with the different tabs, and we'll go in and explore those in just a second, but I want you to see the home page. So in the home page, you see the Wonder of the Day right there in the center of the page. But if you notice the left and right arrows, those can toggle. You can use those to toggle between other wonders of the day that happened either the day before or are going to be coming up the day after. So here you see, where is an amoeba, science, who is author Ash, what was the Kentucky meat shower, and of course the one for today. If you look at this section right here next to the title, this is where you can search Wonderopolis. Any content that you want to have, do you want to look into, you can type it here and do a search for the content. If you scroll further down, then you can see the different, again, the different Wonder of the Day questions here at the bottom. And then you see right here, this chalkboard, a link to Wonderground. This is the one that takes you to the educator resources that I really love, that it's at point of use. Here, what are you wondering? These are the hot spots nearby and join. This kind of gives me a little anxiety because it looks like the Corona map right now, not to make light of that, but that one we're just going to scroll through that one. But you can explore some of the Wonder hotspots as well through that. And what are you wondering? You can definitely go in there and join the world of Wonder creators that are there. And if you continue scrolling down, this is what I wanted to show you. Just right here at the bottom, at the very bottom, on this left-hand corner is where you subscribe. It takes about a minute. Put in your email, click subscribe, and you'll automatically start getting those Wonder of the Day emails sent straight to your inbox. And you can, and there's some sponsor information as well. So that's the home page. I'm going to go ahead and click on Explore Wonders. Here you can see where, again, I can do another search there that you can do by most recent, most popular, or by a Wonder list. And here is all of the Wonder of the Day content that they have. And I'll scroll down through it. You can see it by content area. So in science, they highlight a few here, but then if you want to continue looking into other topic areas, you would click on this green Explore Science link, and that gives you more. And what I like about this is it actually gives you the total count of wonders they have for science, for math, for social studies, and obviously they have more in some that in others, technology, arts, and culture.
So Catalina, I think this will help kind of pull it all together. So these are the same Wonder of Days that you can get that come directly to your email if you sign up for the newsletter, right?
Right. So
okay.
Let's say the one that you got in your daily newsletter doesn't necessarily tie into the lesson that you're particularly doing. You can always come back over here and do a search by content area or by subject of the theme that you're working on and look for those in this area.
That's awesome. And then you can download them and save them, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So there was a question, I believe, from Shaida, and I hope I'm saying that right, Shaida. So yes, you could download the PDF and then upload the PDF to Canva, or to CoreSites, or to Blackboard, or to Schoology, whatever you're using, and then you can have your students access it from there. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Anne Marie. I can't see at all the participant or chat box now because I'm in the live screen, so thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go into, so these are the tabs that we talked about earlier, but I want to just scroll into the Wonderground. This is the area where I would go as an instructor to find those resources that I had talked about earlier. And so I'm going to wait for that to load. Okay, so here we go. We have the blog, the lesson plan, and the educator resources. And this is live and interactive. So you can click on any one of those different areas. And now here is where I was showing you the screenshot. There's a lot more lesson plans here. And right now it looks like they have those for the presidential race. And you can see that it has the lesson plan. And then on the right-hand side, it does have a video that you can also have linked to the lesson plan. And this just can go on and on. What is the skeleton, writing, and you can definitely load more of the lesson plan content. I can go into resources, and this is where I pull that kit from the Cleveland Public Library. So here's some other resources and kits, and these are either done as a file or a PDF. It just depends on which one you click on and how that was submitted by other educators into the website. So winter solstice, did scientists discover a new state of matter if you're reviewing states of matter? There's just a lot here. And so like any other online resource, it definitely would benefit you to go on there and just explore, do your own exploration of the website so that you can see what is available. Then, of course, we have the blogs, and these are just educator blogs where they're sharing some more information with you that is maybe useful for other things that you're looking into. And of course, if you want to go back to the Wonder of the Day, it has a quick link right there that takes you back. I do want to review a little bit on Wonders with Charlie. These are the videos I was talking about, okay? So here, as you scroll through, you can see the different topics that are preloaded here, just a little preview, and it gives you a little title and then a preview of what that video is. So how to find an endangered species. And then if you scroll towards the bottom of the page, then you see a lot more of them. Okay, so why can't penguins fly is an example, why do bees sting, and there's a ton of videos on here that you can also access for your students. So are there any questions on the live web page? Because I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
Let me see. Let's just take about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And let Catalina catch her breath for a minute and see. Thank you, Rogelio. I don't see any questions at this time.
Okay.
They're just agreeing about, the cross-generational power of this with grandparents and parents and children living living all together. I think that's so true. And I think we can keep going, and I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Miss Anne Marie, what are you able to see on your screen right now? If you can help me with that, please.
You're back in the room, and you're showing the lesson planning form.
Okay, good. This is what I wanted to go back to. So one thing that some of the instructors in our program have done is they've taken the information that they have found in the Wonder of the Day, and they placed it on the content standards lesson planning form, and they are correlating what they're finding on the Wonder of the Day to what they're doing. And so here's an example of how that was done. They did the target student audience level. They did the adult education and literacy content standards 2.0 areas. And then in here, they were able to tie in the Wonder of the Day content. So for example, if you look at this section right here and the essential question, this is actually a question that was posed on the Wonder of the Day platform. How are mountains made? Are mountains still being formed? And what are tectonic plates? So this instructor, and I want to give credit where credit is due. We always want to make sure that we give credit for our instructors that are definitely using this. This was written by one of our instructors at Region 1, Mr. Mauro Hernandez. And so he was able to take the Wonder of the Day and also connect it and place it on the lesson plan format to organize the content of the Wonder of the Day to what he was doing. And you can see the lesson objective and how he divided it into the lower level and a higher level of instructional delivery, the evidence of learning, and the assessment. So here, students are going to demonstrate their understanding of intermediate science concepts and vocabulary and reading associated with geological activities. And then the materials, of course, he listed the Wonderopolis website. So this is just a quick view of how he took the content on the Wonderopolis page. Oh, you can't see the bottom? Okay, hold on. Here we go. Can everybody see that, the bottom there? It's only a one-pager.
Everybody, you can scroll yourself if you look at the little tiny gray bar on the right-hand side. So there's a little gray bar that you can scroll up and down yourself, okay? Okay, sorry, Kat. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. I'm going to go to the second page of this, and this one is for a different Wonder of the, I'm sorry, this is a continuation. I'm sorry. So this one is the continuation, and actually what it would look like. So here's the warm-up and review, the presentation, the modeling, the I do, how are mountains made, the guided practice, the part of we do, where there's that for our virtual learning, that is the real-time interaction between instructor and participants, and even participant to participant. So you're doing it together and interacting with the content, the we do. So we have the I do, the we do, and then the you do, the independent practice. And now this one, keep in mind that this was written prior to the changes that we're experiencing right now. So there may be some tweaking to how this looks now that we're doing virtual classes. So just keep that in mind. In this case, the instructor did an assessment with vocabulary, then an application of reading intermediate text, and then for the higher level students, he's doing some summarizing of intermediate level text. Then a reflection, he's using the tool, the KWL chart. And you can also use anchor charts to pull the information together at the beginning and the middle and the end of your lessons. And there's virtual anchor charts as well that you can now start using. So I definitely recommend for you to look at that as you're developing some of these lessons and interactive lessons that go with these kind of resources. Okay, so are there any questions on the lesson plan?
No questions I don't see, just kudos to Mr. Hernandez for such a wonderful job on the lesson plan.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so the last thing I want to share, and let me know, Anne-Marie, when this is visible in the room.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you so much.
The employability skills framework is what you want to see, right?
I lost my train of thought because I had to come out of some of the, so, okay, we were on employability skills, right? Yes? Okay, thank you. I think my heart stopped for a second.
Right.
I need to take a sip of water right now, and by water I mean Diet Coke. Okay.
Coffee or anything we got available.
Something. All right, here we go. Okay, good. So the employability skills framework. So we always want to make sure that we look back at this and make connections in the learning that we're doing, whether whatever platform that we're using, that we try to connect what we're doing with our participants to the employability skills framework, because ultimately these are the skills that we want to continue to grow and develop in our participants. And so for the most part, as you look through the wonder of the day, and as you're using that as a resource, as a hook, as a jumpstart, as a supplement to what you're doing, just something to change the pace and keep them motivated via these new ways of learning, you always want to just kind of take a look at this and see where are the areas that I can make connections. Is it in effective relationships? Is it in applied knowledge? Can I use this as a workplace skills? Because not all the lessons are going to lend themselves in the wonder of the day to all of the employability skills, but they can definitely lend themselves different lessons to different skills. And that's what we want to do. We want to sprinkle the employability skills in and among the lessons that we're doing, whether you use this resource or not, just in any resource really that you're using. And so this is also a great way for us to take a look at what those skills are and how I can make those connections to the content that I'm using and that I'm sharing with my students. And that's why I wanted to just revisit this poster as a reminder that we can definitely continue to grow our students' employability skills. And of course, it's a crucial component of the college and career readiness that you saw in the Educator Wonderground part of the standards. You saw some of these already listed on there as well. So making those connections, not just for our participants, but also for ourselves as instructors. Where can we pull from and draw in the different resources so that it's a seamless stream of instruction as we're moving into these virtual platforms? And so are there any questions on this part?
No, I think if you want to, we have about 4 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and put the link to the employability skills framework in the chat pod for you all in case you want to download it, grab it, and download it. So 4 minutes, Kat.
Okay, so I'm going to let me know when the PowerPoint presentation comes back on and you're able to view it.
Okay, so you're sharing your screen again. So stop sharing and
Okay.
go back into the room. Drop that. Okay, so go up to that little floating dashboard at the top and find your PowerPoint.
Thank you so much for that support, Miss Anne Marie. I'm toggling with 3 different dashboards here, so it takes a little practice. Let me see, Miss Lorraine. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, there's a lot. This website, what I really love about it is just it's rich in information and it's rich in resources, anywhere from content to vocabulary to videos. It's just so wonderful. And what I really like about it is that now we're giving participants a tool that they can use when they're at home right now and they're doing home learning or homeschooling, and they can share this with their families. So it's a way to not only connect our learners with our teaching, but connect our learners with the teaching they're doing in their homes and with their families. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. I believe this concludes the information and the presentation that we had planned and prepared for all of you today.
So we have 2 minutes. So the thank yous are just streaming in, Catalina, about this resource. And on behalf of Train PD, I want to say thank you so much for your expertise and your professionalism and your knowledge. You have such wealth of knowledge to share with all of us. And thank you so much. A big shout out to Dr. Escamilla, who joined me today. I could not have done it without her. And once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us.